Okay, let's get started. I'm Kyofumi Iwasaki from Rakuten Group Manager. Today's theme is huge enterprise system architecture design with Java EE. I have over 70 years of experiences for making enterprise systems, especially for the financial industry, using the Java EE and .NET framework, and overseas for Java conferences and open world in San Francisco, United States, and so forth. Okay, today's agenda, starting from the enterprise systems and its features from the beginning. About the enterprise systems, ESR large-scale application software, business processes, information flows, reporting, and data analytics in complex organizations. This is from Wikipedia Enterprise Systems. And the enterprise software, today's theme, is satisfying the needs of organization. And so the enterprise software is a part of enterprise systems. And there are no functional requirements for the enterprise software making from the beginning. There are many issues including frameworks, efficient development environment, security, variety of communication protocols, and the distributed transactional management, and the efficient database and MQ connectivities. And of course, all based on the AC transactional management, especially for the financial industry systems. So there are many choosing points, and especially for the custom or package on enterprise systems. This is a big point for making and selecting the software making. For the custom software approach is for the strong area for the enterprise, the company. Specialists, of course, especially for the specialties of competitiveness depending on each industry. On the other hand, the packaging software approach is for non-strong area for the enterprise. For example, the HR, accounting, information sharing systems, and so forth. So I'm focusing on the custom software approaches with technology something. For starting making custom enterprise software, there are many technologies you can use. For open software platform like PHP, and there's so many great technologies on there. And of course, better logged-in platform like ABAP in SAP, and so many things, including legacy systems. And the .NET framework and Java EE. And today I'm focusing on the Java EE because the Java EE is a better platform, especially for the open standard, community power, and the maturity for huge mission critical systems, especially for financial systems. Java EE is a default standard for the enterprise system, financial enterprise systems. And of course, we are now choosing this Java EE. First summary, select Java EE for enterprise apps. Java EE is even better platform for huge mission critical systems, vendor-free, larger community power, and the amount of engineers. Okay, let's move on to the Java EE specification for enterprise system from the beginning. Java EE overview. Java EE is stands for the Java Platform Enterprise Edition. So the Java specification for enterprise systems, not for lightweight web systems. So this is the point. So Java EE is good for the, especially for the financial systems and mission critical systems. So the sometimes too much for the lightweight web systems. So of course for the matured mission critical systems. And the Java EE specification is managed by Java community process. Rakuten and I are part of the Java community processes. Now discussing for the future specification for the Java EE. And many vendors are making Java EE app server not only for commercial usage but also for free. So there are many selection of using the Java EE specification with many application servers. And here, history of Java EE specification. Java EE was started from the project JPE in 1998, and the first version of the Java EE was released on 1999, end of the 1999, named J2EE, and the name was changed as Java EE on 2006. And the latest version is Java EE 7, just released in 2013. And the older version of the servers are EOL, so ignore that. And we are now our selection is just with Java EE 6 or Java EE 7. So please consider for using Java EE 7 if you are starting making some application server for enterprise systems, because the Java EE 7 is longer EOL period, so good for making a huge enterprise systems using spending many times, hours, years. And of course, Java EE is based on Java SE, and the current Java SE is based on Java SE 7. So Java EE 7 cannot use some Java SE 8 functions like lambda expressions and so many things. If you prefer to use lambda expression properly in Java EE platform, please wait the Java EE 8. Java EE 8 will be released at the end of 2017 next year. So please looking forward. We are also. But unfortunately now the latest version is Java EE 7. So the basement is on Java SE 7. But unfortunately Java SE 7 provided by Oracle was already EOL. So now we are using Java SE 8 with Java EE 7. But the basement is of course in Java SE 8. It's Java SE 7. So this is a limitation point from the beginning in this time. And looking back to the enterprise systems, there are many areas for making. For example, web front end and the business logic, no view screens, and of course the back end systems, including the database and so many enterprise information systems. And the Java EE coverage is on that like this. For example, the web front end is covered by JSF. The JSF is based on the servlet framework, and the business logic is managing by EJB and the JBatch, a new batch framework, and the protocol IRMI over ILP, and based on JTA, Java transactional architecture. And both are covered with WebSocket connectivity, JAX RS RESTful connectivity, and the CDI context and dependency injection framework. This is a standard for of the Java EE framework. And the backend, focusing on backend, there are many specifications like JPA, Java persistence architecture, for the connecting database persistence. And the JMS is for the message queuing, message query for systems like IBM MQ connectivity. And the JDBC is based on database row connectivity. And web services connectivity with JAX RS, and mail MTA connectivity with Java mail specification. so many specifications there, and almost all the specifications are from the many open source ideas. For example, the servlet framework from Apache JServe, and the JPA is from Hibernate, and the CDI and Java Batch were from Spring Framework. So many things. And the EJB is from WebLogic from 1999. So almost all specifications are from other community or vendors applications, and so many things. And a few specifications are already abolished. For example, the EJB entity bean was abolished and replaced with JPA, and the JSP was almost abolished. For the new specification, the successor is JSF and the FaceMate. So the slightly changing to the new version of Java EE specification, but almost all specifications are not changed. So you can, if you are now learning Java EE 7, or you are the specialist of J2EE, the almost all specifications are not changed. So now you can use all the information or your knowledge to the newer version of the Java EE. So don't worry about it. For the 2017, the year of Java EE 8, the original plan of the Java EE 8 will be released on first half of 2017. But I joined at the last Java 1 on San Francisco at September. The big news were released. The revised plan was released. Then the current final release will be third quarter of 2017, and now public survey is operated. So the proposal final draft will be available at the first half of 2017 or the second half, and the final release will be on next Java 1 conference. So I'm looking forward to the final release, and there are now many discussions for the new E8 and E9 in Java 1 conference. So if you prefer to know about the details and the deep diving for the new EE specification, please consider to attend the next Java 1 conference in San Francisco. Okay, so let's move to the detail of the Java EE, especially for applying points for real enterprise systems. The first step, application design with Java EE from scratch. Okay, keywords, app servers and vendors, commercial or free, and of course Java versions, and vendor selection, and product roadmaps, some application servers, and so many things. And here are typical enterprise systems, and the each application specification of the Java EE, like this. The presentation with JSF, rich clients with JavaFX, or the .NET frameworks, some other application server, or the iOS apps. But the business logics with EJB or CDI with automatic transaction with JTA framework. And the backend with JPA, JMS, connectivities, IRMR, or JAX releases, and the email with Java mail, like this. Okay, here's a question. I start my new project with Java EE. Which version should use? And my answer is use the latest product version with latest Java EE specification, because the latest version is free of EOL, end of life, a greater API for ease of development. So E7 is better than E6, of course. So please consider to use the E7 from the beginning, from now. And looking to the application server. And the big three application server of the Java EE7, Java EE is WebLogic from Oracle, and WebSphere from IBM, and the JBoss from Red Hat. This is a big three application server in Java EE. And so many free version or the community version of the application server also available. First one is Glassfish. Glassfish is a default standard and a reference implementation of the Java EE specification. So the for Java EE 8 in next year also released the Glassfish 5 at the same time. So the Glassfish is almost a standard for the implementation of the Java EE specification. And also we are now using we can use the Wildfly. Wildfly is a successor of the JBoss application server, and of course we can use free. And so many great engineers are now joining to the Wildfly. So the Wildfly will be the next era of the standard of the Java EE specification. And the Wildfly is a better platform, I believe that. But Glassfish is also. And the other product like Geronimo and Tommy provided, and also of course the Interstage and Cosmic Nexus are provided by Japanese company like Fujitsu and Hitachi, and some others are also available. And here's the details of Java EE application servers versions. Glassfish, WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss, Wildfly, Cosmic Nexus, and Gels provided for using the app for the Java EE7 specification. So, but unfortunately, the Interstage, Geronimo, Tommy are not. So, please consider for using these application server from now. But maybe the Fujitsu might be released the Interstage next version, but not released yet, not announced. So, yes, okay, like this. And the commercial free, heavy SLA or open source, not a few initial cost limitation. Please select commercial product. But some support required? No. Is UI acceptable? Acceptable. So you can use free product like this. So please use this chart. And these materials can be will be uploaded to the SlideShare. So please refer if you prefer later. Okay. Summary. Select your appropriate server. Vendor, the choosing point is vendor, apply Java EE version, free or commercial, and the commercial support required or not. So up to you. Okay. So next, specify IDE for modern development style. This is a very important point. But so focusing keywords, productivity, IDE or not, building systems, development standard, and repository. Looking back to the 1990s, Japanese special habit, like this, great engineer never use such IDEs. Instead, they use text editor. But in 2010s, wrong in latest is dead. So please consider productivity first and the modernized development environment with latest technologies. So actual latest product in enterprise system development consists of over 10,000 classes, and where large systems cannot manage on simple text editor. So you must use latest IDE for managing source codes. On looking to the Java EE, we can select very great IDEs like these are like NetBeans, IntelliJ, and Eclipse. And these are big three IDEs in Java development, Java EE development. So you can select something from that. And I like the NetBeans from the first version, and now using the NetBeans. But the IntelliJ and Eclipse are also good, so it's up to you. And the building system, like make script in C language, Java EE is better for managing with these Maven framework or Gradle. These two building systems are standard for making the Java EE systems development. And Maven is determined by POM XML, but the Gradle is build Gradle from a script. And Maven is for the ease of use, but lower customizability. But the Gradle is better than the customizability, but slightly difficult to understand than Maven. And the three major IDEs support Maven in default settings, especially for the NetBeans. NetBeans is powerful support for the Maven product using some automatically generating systems. So if you don't have any ideas or opinions, so please select the Maven instead of Gradle, because the Maven is better than the Gradle, especially for the automatically building systems and new project diagram and automatically generating script for your new project making. And the Maven project are used by three IDEs as native. No special setting files are required. So if you are making POM.xml5, you can use NetBeans or IntelliJ or Eclipse, anything different from each one by one, as preferred to the everything developers in a single project. So summary, recommendation. My recommendation: make project with Maven and enjoy programming with anything you want. Okay. Next, web front end with JSF. Okay, keywords: HTTP, security, page flow, Java server faces, hotspot, and Facebook. And here's a typical usage of JSF. JSF is Java server faces, and this is covered on the web presentation area. So if you want to make some web systems, please consider to use the JSF framework. JSF the part is almost similar to the ASP.NET on the .NET framework, almost same as the ASP.NET. So very easy to understand. Java server faces, many genuine Java EE front-end framework, and many additional components like prime faces, like and so many third-party vendors, additional view and functions are available, and the view-based operations, and also included some security countermeasures already implemented, like cross-site scripting or cross-site request forgery for avoiding these security issues. JSF basic page flow model is like this, almost same as ASP.NET on the ASP.NET.CS framework. on the JSF framework, the view file was called Facelet. Facelet is a successor of the JSP, Java Server Pages. They're almost the same as ASP.NET. And the backing bean is one by one connecting with a view file. And this is called backing bean with CDI, context and dependency injection file. And they're almost the same as ASP.NET.cs file. So connect as one by one. So if you implement one view with one button, one view represent from the facelet and with one backing bean with action buttons action method. So if user press the button, the action method was called back. So easier to implement. And the page flow was operated by page button action inner page button actions. So and these are managed by postback framework, same as .NET framework, ASP.NET. So very easier to understand than the older framework like struts. The struts, the Apache struts, as you know, is a former standard in 2000 era. But nowadays, the JSF and .NET framework, ASP.NET page flow style is the standard for making the web systems. For example, the struts, one view and two view, are managed by one action file and the action form or the dyna action form management. So sometimes very complicated and complex page flow must be operated, but the JSF is managed by facelet and backing bean, and so easier to understand and easier to manage the page flow model. So JSF is a better platform than Struts 1.1, 1.3 or the 2.x. And the JSF, the view framework was changed from JSP to the facelet. The older version of the Java Server Pages must be compiled for the running. But on facelet is real-time interpreting and work. So they're almost the same as PHP framework. So easier to make and try and make fix and try and fix and try. And the security countermeasure for JSF and JSF. For example, the cross-site splitting XSS required output value to HTML with escaping. Escaping operation is sometimes very harmful. But the JSF was automatically operating output value HTML with escaping. So and the cross-site request forgery. This is the latest countermeasure for the some wrong page flow avoiding. Requirement output one-time token for next page transitions. This is a very harmful implementation, but the JSF automatically operated, so no need to consider about it. Please use the Java E7, the JSF 2.2 or later. The summary, recommendation for the Java E front end, use JSF for your web front end, implement with facelet. Okay, so next, move to the business logic with EJB or CDI. Keywords, transaction management, enterprise Java beans, JBatch, CDI, context and dependency injection, and the container managed transaction, CMT. These are keywords for making some business logic. Here is the in charge part of EJB and CDI, business logic, and no view, but must be operated transactional as some business logic. On Java EE, two solutions are available. One is EJB. EJB stands for Enterprise Java Beans Technology. And the newer version of the implementation style is CDI, Context and Dependency Injection, from Spring frameworks. This is from Java E5, and then EJB was released on the first version of the J2EE in 1999, but the CDI from 2006. The EJB is for the heavy and mission critical business logics, but the CDI is for lightweight logics, rapid ease of development. So let's look to the differences between EJB and CDI. This is EJB functions. First, remote invocation using RMI over IOP, SOAP, REST, WebSockets, so many protocols. And the second, automatic transaction management began commit for some resources like database and MQ and so many transactional XA protocols available are applied enterprise information systems. And the third, instance pooling for faster operations. EJB is on the activated application startup or the deployment deployed on the application servers, and they activate if some request comes. So EJB is faster operation than the normal POJO or the CDIs. And they also implemented security management. For example, this method can be called from this from anonymous function, or some function can be operated or only operated for this method like this. So the EJB can manage every class-based or the method-based operations one by one. So very complicated settings can be set on everything with EJB. On the other hand, CDI is a light version of EJB. CDI can be operated SOAP, REST, WebSocket, but cannot be operated RMI over IOP. IOP is the standard for the core legacy systems. COBA is the standard for the financial industry systems, but the CDI cannot be operated IOP because the CDI is for the lightweight implementation. And the automatic transaction management is also supported, but the CDI cannot operate the XA protocol, the two-phase commit protocol cannot be operated. If you use XA, please consider to use EJB instead of CDI. And the instance pooling and the security management not implemented yet. This is my question for the current CDI implementation, and I asked the implementation roadmap of the CDI for the Java EE spec lead, but almost no plan for implementing these functions. So the EJB and CDI will be continually available on future EJB specification. So please select EJB or CDI for your backend logic implementation. It's up to the function specification. And the batch implementation is sometimes very important, especially for the financial backend systems and some legacy enterprise systems. And batch standard framework not available on Java E6, but on Java E7 we can the JBatch was adapted on the standard specification of Java EE. So you can consider these three choices. First, use EJB CDI and call the EJB remote from outside. But Kika called EJB or CDI via there's some protocol like RESTful JAX RS, REST or the SOAP or something like that. So you can use automatic transaction and some other useful special function of the EJB or CDI on batch. The second, I use Java batch framework, JBatch framework, called from outside. JBatch framework was contributed by the IBM. So the implementation style was almost the same as the old legacy mainframe batch systems. So the chunk or the batch string or can be implemented as almost the same style as the mainframe or the COBOL implemented framework. So if you prefer to the older style, please consider to the Java batch, JBatch. And choice 3, please consider to use a microservice. Microservice is a new standard, almost a default standard for implementing the batch framework. But unfortunately, the microservice will be available on Java E9, not 8. So not standardized yet. But you can use this microservice style with a parallel microserver. So or the Wi-Fi. So please consider to apply this microservice with parallel micro or Wi-Fi if you prefer. Okay, here's the summary. Recommendation for the Java E business logic: use CDI or enterprise Java beans for your real-time logics, and consider batch logic design. And the next, data access with JPA. Keywords: JPA, auto generation, JDBC, data access object, DAO, and the JPQL, Java Persistence Query Language. And the JPA is here for the database connectivity. And the JPA was contributed from the Hibernate, standardized. So they're almost the same. So if you know the Hibernate framework, the JPA is almost same. You can use the knowledge for the JPA. The JPA is can be auto-generated framework, almost same as ADO.NET on .NET framework. So you can generate from the ER diagram, ER model to the JPA entity file class diagram one by one. After that, you can also auto-generate the data access object from the JPA entities using the NetBeans IDE or something like that. And the JPA custom queries can be implemented with the JPQL like this, select A from, or almost same as the normal SQL, but slightly different from like this column, the variable name placeholder. And it also available with the criteria query. Criteria query is a builder of the query language with the Java API, like this criteria query, builder.create query and dot select dot where. like this. After that, automatically JPQL will be generated internally. And of course, the normal standard framework of JDBC cannot be accepted on Java EE framework. So please don't use a JDBC directly on Java EE specification. And the JPA combination with EJB session being with CDI is good for the managing transactional operation. So you can use EJB or CDI with automatic transactional annotation. So you can use automatic transaction management with JPA framework. So this is a standard style for using the EJB or CDI with JPA. Summary: apply JPA ordinary with EJB CDI with CFT. Last part: connectivity with RMI over IIOP REST, like that. So keywords: IIOP, RMI, IIOP, RMI, WebSocket, JSON, IIOP, COBA, GIOP, REST, JSON, JAX-WS, global transactions, and so many things. Okay, last part. This is a part, and this is a supported protocol of Java EE 7 on EJB. And EJB can manage the 4 protocols: RMI over IIOP from J to E 1.2 from the beginning, and SOAP from Java EE 5, REST and WebSocket from E6 and 7. And now focusing on the RMI over IIOP, the standard for the enterprise backend systems, especially for the financial industry, and the REST and WebSocket for the as the standard for the open standard for the latest technologies. For heavy transaction, consider using the RMI over IIOP, because RMI over IIOP is can have interoperability with COBA enterprise systems using the XA protocol with a two-phase commits. This is a complicated operation, but can be operated with the XA protocol. XA protocol is a standard for the managing the global transaction management. It is standardized in 1990s. So this is a de facto standard for financial industries. On the other hand, for the lightweight usage, consider WebSocket or JSON, REST plus JSON. This is the latest standard for the open source area. So the out-of-fast ease of development, and connectivity can be connect directly with JavaScript and so many other technologies. So on that case, please consider to use WebSocket or REST. And the EJB can be operated multiple implementation style like this. So for one class with one method with both RMI over IIOP with WebSocket like this for RMI over IP, AtMap Limbo, and the server endpoint for the WebSocket, and for WebSocket AtMap on message for the connecting stars. And here's a summary. Select the RMI over IIOP for heavy transactional distributed or legacy enterprise systems, and the WebSocket or REST for newer systems that require lightweight and faster speed. And here's a summary. Enterprise system require many mission critical investment, and the Java EE is one of the best platform on the aspect of the build free, and consider many critical points when Java EE design and development start. That's it from me. Some questions? Nothing. That is all. Thank you.